You added an indicator. It didn't work, so you added another one, then a third. Now your chart looks like a control panel, and you're still getting stopped out right before the move. Here's the uncomfortable part. The problem was never which indicator you picked. The problem is that you're asking one tool to do a job that takes three. This video is about Confluence, what it actually means, why most traders get it wrong, and why three independent reads that agree will beat one strong indicator every single time. Let's name the real problem first. Most trading methods are hostages to a single lens. The pure smart money trader reads structure, and only structure. The indicator trader lives and dies by one oscillator. The volume trader stares at the footprint and nothing else. Each of these can be genuinely good, but each one has a blind spot built into it. And when the market moves inside that blind spot, the trader has nothing to check themselves against. One lens gives you one opinion, and a single opinion, held with confidence, is exactly how accounts get hurt. And this isn't a small niche problem. Regulators actually force brokers in Europe to print how many of their retail clients lose money. The disclosed numbers usually sit somewhere between 74 and 89%. Now, that's not because those people are stupid. Many of them have a method. The issue is that a single lens method looks brilliant right up until the one scenario it can't see. And markets are very good at finding that scenario. So the obvious fix is use more than one thing, right? This is where almost everyone goes wrong. Stacking 5 indicators is not Confluence. If you put RSI, stochastic, and 3 moving averages on a chart, they mostly measure the same thing: momentum and price dressed up in different colors. When they agree, it feels like confirmation. It isn't. They were always going to agree because they're reading the same data. That's not 3 votes. That's 1 vote, shouted 3 times. Real Confluence needs reads that are actually independent. Independent means each read is looking at a different kind of evidence, from a different source that can fail on its own without dragging the others down with it. Think about how you'd trust anything important in real life. If 3 people who've never met, standing in different places, all describe the same car leaving the same scene, that's strong. If one person tells the same story 3 times, that's just one person. Trading is identical. The value isn't in the number of confirmations. It's in how unrelated they are. 2 unrelated reads that point at the same zone tell you far more than 10 related ones. Let me show you why this matters with simple numbers. And to be clear up front, these are illustrative numbers to explain the logic, not a claim about anyone's results. Say you have one read that's wrong 40% of the time. On its own, that's a coin flippish edge. You'll get faked out a lot. Now add a second, genuinely independent read that's also wrong 40% of the time. For both to be wrong at the same price, at the same moment, you multiply. 40% times 40% is 16%. Add a third independent read, 40% cubed, and the odds of all 3 being wrong together drop to about 6%. Nothing changed about the individual tools. They're still 40% wrong. But because they're independent, their agreement is worth far more than any of them alone. That's the entire idea behind Confluence. And it's just arithmetic. And here's the part almost nobody talks about. If the point of Confluence were only take the trade when everything lines up, it would just be a fancy entry filter. The real power is the opposite. When your independent reads disagree, that's information too. It's the market telling you the picture isn't clean, so you stand aside. The trades you skip protect your account as much as the trades you take. A method that can confidently say, not here, is worth more than one that always has an opinion. So if stacking indicators isn't it, what are 3 genuinely independent reads? At a high level, they answer 3 different questions. First, where? Where on the chart does the market have unfinished business? A level that actually matters, not a random line. Second, who. When price gets there, is real activity showing up to defend it? Or is it just drifting through on air? Third, what's priced in? Is that zone meaningful to the people who move a real size? The positioning and options data sitting underneath the market. Where, who, and what's priced in? 3 different questions, 3 different data sources, 3 reads that can each be right or wrong on their own. When all 3 point at the same zone, that's confluence you can actually act on. So why is this better than a great single indicator? Fewer trades, but cleaner ones. Because that bar to act is 3 unrelated things agree, not one line crossed. A built-in break, because disagreement keeps you out of the messy stuff, and far less curve fitting, because you're not endlessly tuning one tool to fit the last 100 candles. You're reading the market from 3 angles that don't depend on each other. It stops being a signal you obey and starts being a decision you understand. That's the difference between renting someone's opinion and actually being able to read the chart yourself. This 3 independent reads converging on one zone is the backbone of the Conflux Method. The name literally comes from confluence, separate confirmations flowing into the same place. In this video, I've kept it deliberately high level. The idea. The course is where you learn to actually build each of the 3 reads and line them up, step by step. There are free preview lessons on the site if you want to see how it's taught before you decide anything. Links below. If this reframed how you think about confirmation, the best thing you can do is stop adding indicators. And start asking whether the ones you have are actually independent. Trade carefully. This is education, not advice. And trading carries a real risk of losing money. I'll see you in the next one.